Hi, friends. I'm Scott Giles, and welcome to Power Talk, my podcast here on Facebook Live and YouTube. I cover topics related to spirituality, hypnotic coaching, and the hypnotic arts and sciences in general. If you want to know more about my professional work or sign up for my free e-newsletter, Powerlines, check out my website, which I'll tag at the end of this video. Well, today I want to talk about something that hypnotists call ego strengthening. That is, how we create a better sense of ourselves so we can present to the world the best version of ourselves. Now, I see a lot of people who tell me they feel disappointed with themselves. They thought they would accomplish more than the circumstances of their life have allowed. Financial plans went wrong. The job wasn't what was promised. The romantic partner turned out to be different in important ways than was obvious during courtship. The economy went bad. Whatever. Things did not go as hoped. Then one day they realized that time had passed, and the hoped-for future was unlikely ever to materialize. Well, there are a couple of responses that one makes at such times. One response is to blame someone else. This one's easy because it's always easy to blame other people for one's own problems. So the husband didn't turn out to be the rising star in the corporate or academic world that you thought. The wife turned out to be completely unsupportive to one's hopes or dreams, and on and on. This option of blaming someone else seldom ends well. We don't control other people. If we define our problems in terms of other people, we've actually given away all of our own agency. If the problem is someone else, then we can't control what that person does. And that means we have no control over the events of our lives. And that is a deeply disempowered position. It's full of negative energy and an energy that will defy resolution. I suspect that one of the reasons why so many relationships end is that people are reluctant to realize that whatever problems they have, the solution really needs to come from themselves. I mean, sure, if you're in an abusive or wildly incompatible relationship, moving on can be the best thing to do. But unless you deal with your own inner world of expectations and goals, you're likely to make the same mistake over and over again. So what should one do when one's life does not seem to be on track? Well, if you were a client of mine, the answer you get is always the same. Become a better version of yourself. It really doesn't matter much what you do or your occupation or your focus. What will matter is how you do those things. You may not be able to command armies or kingdoms, but you are always in command of yourself. At an earlier time in my life, I was a chef. It was a good experience, and had I not found I wanted something more, I might have spent my life happily in the professional kitchen. But no matter where in that kitchen I worked, at what station, I always tried to do it as well as I could. When I was on pantry, I got really good at opening oysters and clams. When I was at the broiler station, I worked hard to be able to get the doneness correct when a raw steak hit the grill. If you're a maintenance person, be the best one you can. If you've chosen to be a homemaker, be a good one. Now, this is an idea from ancient Stoic philosophy. How you do what you do matters more to your worth as a person than what you do. How you do what you do matters more than what you do. And I really mean that. Even if your work doesn't seem to extend much beyond yourself or your family, it still has an impact on other people that can spread like a meme and affect them for the better. Realizing that someone in your world is really doing their best tends to call forth the best in us. In ancient Rome, citizens wore a garment called a toga. It was a semicircular cloth that they draped over themselves, usually over a tunic, and often held with a clasp called a fibula. There were different sorts of togas, and they denoted rank, prestige, or office. There was the toga pura that any citizen could wear. There was the toga praetexta, worn by a magistrate. There was the darker toga pula, worn when one is in mourning. There was the toga candidata, which one wore when one was a candidate for political office, and more. Now, all of these togas were basically made of white cloth with different sorts of borders. But the citizens of ancient Rome realized that the simple white cloth could be made more beautiful if, as the cloth was woven, the weaver incorporated a few red threads scattered into the weave. They were spread far apart to the point where you really couldn't see them, but the red thread in the cloth made the whole more brilliant and beautiful. Well, a person who's really trying their best is like the red thread in the toga. Maybe they don't stand out in a way that's easy for others to notice, but they make an important contribution. They so influence others that the end result is a better society for us all. So try to be like the red thread in the toga. Always try to be the best you can. Now, having said this, you don't have to overfunction. I'm not saying give 110%. As I've said recently in this podcast, research shows that if you consistently just give 70% of your best effort, you're going to do very well indeed, because a lot of people give far less. So be sane. Be kind to yourself and keep your balance. But do what you do with some pride and do it well, including modeling self-care and self-respect. And if you do that, you'll make everything better for us all. Hey, thank you for your time and attention today. I'll be back next week with another talk on a different subject. You are invited to join me. It helps me if you let others know about my work and my videos, so please like, share, and subscribe. And if I can be of help to you, feel free to reach out through email, my website, or my Patreon channel, and have a great week.